You wouldn't listen, so God had to knock you off your horse, so to speak. Hey friend, God bless you this morning. Thank you for joining me on Morning Nuggets. This is yours truly, Pastor Nate. It's my absolute pleasure. I'm here speaking with you. Listen, you saw the title. A hard head makes a soft heart. Typically people say a hard head makes a soft butt. In the world, of course, would say a hard head would make a soft. You know what I'm talking about. But Pastor Nate doesn't say words like that. Either way you look at it, it's a change of heart at the end. And we see the scripture in Acts 9:4-5. Paul had this encounter with Jesus. Some say Paul was riding alone on his donkey or his horse, but the scriptures say he fell to the ground. So that indicates he was riding on some kind of beast. He fell to the ground and a light shined in his eyes. And when he was on the ground, he heard a voice saying, "Paul, why do you persecute me?" Then the voice said, "It's hard to kick against the prick." Friend, we'll see a lot of people kicking against the prick. And what a prick is back in the day when they used the oxen, they had a sharp object that had, sharp objects on the end of a stick, so to speak. And while the oxen was plowing, and if the oxen got out of line or what have you, they would have this little sharp objects like a prick. It would prick the oxen to get him back or get the oxen back, on track. And if the oxen would rebel against that object would cut into the skin and dig down into the skin of the oxen. So what Jesus was saying, Paul, we tried to get you back in line. You didn't listen. You rebel. You're hurting yourself. You're killing yourself. It's hard to kick against the prick. So you were high-minded. No one could tell you anything. You wouldn't listen. So God had to knock you off your horse, so to speak. And that's why you hear people saying, she got knocked off her high horse, or he got knocked off of his high horse. He think he was the end all be all and God's gift to the world, and that they were all that. Nobody could really tell them nothing. They thought they could just go around and say anything and do anything to everybody and get away with it. But how many in Proverbs 16:18, the scripture says that pride goeth out before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Yes, friend, you continue in your ways, eventually your day is coming. Every dog has its day, right? But let me tell you something. God always gives you warning. We see this behavior in our lives around us, in our families. Maybe some of us were guilty at some point where God had to knock us off our horse, so to speak, and we had a change of heart. Maybe we were arrogant and we thought that the world revolved around us, and we just mistreated people and said anything to people and did everything to people and just thought we could get away with it. And we did get away with it for a little while, and we kept on because we were getting away with it, and we thought we would continue to get away with it. But how many know that God will eventually tap you on that shoulder and spank that butt, knock you off your horse? That's all it is, y'all. He does that because he loves you. You wouldn't listen. That's why he had to do that. The scripture says, humble yourself, because we don't want God to humble us. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me this morning. Woo! You don't want him to humble you. I tell God every day, Lord, keep me near the cross. Don't let me be arrogant. Don't let me be high-minded. Search my heart. If there's anything in there that's not like you, remove it. Because when God knocks you off your horse, friend, you don't want God to whip you. I'm telling you, we got our ministry. We haven't been going out for a while now since the COVID, but I would hear various stories when we would go to the nursing home, when we would go to the missions in the Salvation Army. People would tell us, my gosh, if I had listened, if I had done things different, I thought I was all that. They would tell you those things. Now look where it got me. Friend, If you got some family members, if you got some friends who are like that, give them this message here. Send a warning out. You know who I'm talking about. You got some people in your life that acted just like Saul did. You know, his name was Paul after he got his conversion, but his name was Saul before then. Saul was killing the Christians. He was slaughtering them and threatening them and persecuting them. I mean, he was very persistent in this endeavor. You ain't gonna continue to mistreat God's people and get away with it. Saul had a change of heart. He became Paul, one of the greatest apostles that ever walked this earth. God can change. You can be big and battered. I know this incorrect English, but you ain't big and better than him. When he says stop, that's exactly what he means. Friend, I pray this exhortation bless you this morning. I don't know if you want to consider this as an exhortation or not, but I believe this conversation was warranted this morning. I believe it was needed. In the meantime, be at peace and not in pieces. Till next time.